After skipping all of training camp, the preseason, and the first 2 regular season games, Seahawks safety Cam Chancellor has given up his holdout and will return to Seattle. This according to our very own Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. received a text message from Cam this morning that said the following: "I'm going to go help my teammates that are understanding of my position and the ones who aren't. God forgives all, why can't I? Time to help us get back to the big dance. I can address business after the season. Me and Marshawn started a mission 2 years ago. I can't let my dog down. Real talk." We welcome now Hall of Famer Jerome Bettis to the desk. Good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you.
I should say good afternoon this time of day. What does Cam mean to the Seahawks, Jerome?
Well, he's the glue that kind of brings this defense together. You've got to have, on defense, you've got to have that emotional player that is the thumper, because he brings that energy and that excitement to the defensive side. When you get that big hit and all those guys rally around that, he's usually the one that's giving the big hit. So when you don't have a guy like that, then everybody's running around and they're going through the motions, but they don't have the same intensity. So when you have a guy like Cam Chancellor in there in the lineup, he's directing traffic, letting all the guys know where to be, because he's the intermediary between the secondary and the linebacker, because he's part linebacker, part safety, part cornerback.
Good point.
So he has the ability to really talk to both sides, and when he's out there, they all gravitate to him. So when you have a player like that, he's missing, then there's a lot missing with the defense. So now you insert him back in, you should see an uptick in that defense in terms of their energy and how they go out there and play the game.
Well, Jerome brought up part linebacker, part safety, part corner. That's a lot of areas to cover.
Yes.
When you combine that with the fact that he's the captain, that he's the hitman, that he's the emotional leader, and he's the quarterback of the defense, then that is how you have the Legion of Boom. When Marshawn Lynch's mama ends her Facebook post by saying boom, it says it all when she's calling for folks to be fired. I mean, everywhere you turned, it was clear that he was missed by this team, not to mention the fact that they've been a #1 ranked defense in the NFL the last 3 years. Not one, not two, all the last 3 years. They are now ranked 29th. 29th. So you went from #1 to number 29.
That is crazy.
I think you gotta pay attention to something like that, okay? So then I look at it from that perspective. You went from #1 to number 29. You talk about being a linebacker, safety, corner, depending on the play. You talk about being the quarterback of the defense. You're talking about galvanizing the troops. You're talking about all of these different things. It speaks to the level of importance that he has for this team. Where he's going to have a significant challenge, however, is he's going to have to shove all of those other emotions aside. Because considering what he said, John Snyder said to him, "I'm not taking care of you this year, next year, or the year after." And then you combine that with the fact that he believes that Pete Carroll had a lot to do with that. You got to shove aside all of that to just focus and go out and play. I have no doubt that he could do it on Sundays. The challenge for him is going to be, what do you do on those days in between those games when you clearly have to deal with these individuals? Because in order for you to lead, you're going to have to shove all of that aside all year, not just on game days.
I have no doubt that Cam is the quarterback and the enforcer of this defense. But you two are heaping lots of expectations on him to be the difference maker, to walk back into that locker room and step onto that field and become the Super Bowl catalyst. If I can do a quick shout out to Allen Iverson, your man, the answer to the rest of this season for the Seattle Seahawks. Is that where we're heading with this?
Well,
is going to change life?
What I would say to you, Skip, is that we're not looking, and I'm going to speak for Jerome here, I don't think you're looking at Cam Chancellor, the individual, to be that player on the field and that makes up for everything. Of course, he can only do what he can do. But if you're one of those dudes that can galvanize the troops around you, you understand? And to peel the greatness out of them that's in them, that wasn't being peeled out of them by anybody else, then that goes a long way. The question is, can Cam Chancellor help the rest of the Legion of Boom to be the Legion of Boom.
Okay.
I believe that. Now, if you're saying to me, can Cam Chancellor go out there as a free safety corner, linebacker, and do it all himself? No. But last time I checked, Earl Thomas was still on that squad. Bobby Wagner was still on that squad. Richard Sherman was still on that squad. Bennett and those boys are still on that squad. You understand? And oh, by the way, when we talk about the Legion of Boom, we're talking about dudes other than the front four. Because the front four detest the fact that the Legion of Boom gets all the credit, and they don't. So who do you think spearheads that competition?
Yep.
Because Cam Chancellor's the one that says, all right, we'll go out there and do something about it.
Okay.
Do something about it so the Legion of Boom don't have to be the Legion of Boom.
Quick question for this man.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame running back that you are.
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
Speaking of great running backs, remember what happened to Emmitt Smith in 1993? Do you remember this? You were around.
Yeah.
Cowboys, defending Super Bowl champs. Emmitt holds out, misses the first 2 games as they fall to 0-2. Charles Haley, after the second loss at home to Buffalo, throws a tantrum in the locker room and blasts a hole in the locker room wall with his helmet right in front of Jerry Jones, who said, I give up, I will concede and sign this man and bring him back. Emmitt Smith becomes regular season MVP of the NFL that year, on to Super Bowl MVP that year. Can Cam Chancellor be Emmitt Smith?
He can be Emmitt Smith, not in the production and expect him to be the defensive MVP of the NFL, but he can be that catalyst, because now what happens as a football player, if I'm Bobby Wagner, I'm saying, okay, Cam is here, my guy is here, I can take a chance because I know he's here and he can back me up. So now all of these guys are playing a lot different because their guy is there. So when your guy is not there, you're saying, okay, I have to be perfect because I don't want to put any pressure on the backup. So now you're going to play it straight. Whereas if you know Cam is there, you say, okay, I can take a chance. I see something, I can take a chance and go after it. And when you have a defense that's more aggressive in taking those chances, then you're going to get a better outcome at the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. When you have a guy like Cam Chancellor there, he makes everybody better, and everybody gets excited, and that defense becomes an explosive defense as opposed to a waiting on your heels.
I got all
defense.
that. I still don't think a great safety can have quite the impact a great running back can have.
No. He won't. But he will impact that defense that needs something.
Well, Stephen A's back on board.
I never jumped off.
He never left.
I never jumped off.
Yeah.
I've always thought Seattle was going to the...
I think you were teetering.
No, because I knew Cam was going to come back.
Okay.
So the enforcer, the thumper, the hitman, to steal all your words, he's back. Good day for the 12. Jimmy Clausen is going to have his hands full up there in Seattle. It's going to be loud. It's going to be rocking there on Sunday. Jerome, you're sticking with us for this next topic. We have some news on Johnny Manziel. He's taking a backseat to Josh McCown this Sunday. What does this mean for Johnny's future after the win he just pulled off against the Titans? We'll get into that coming up.